it, our recording this evening. Welcome everybody to our part 4 of Mussar at Moshe as our preparation for Elul and our preparation in Elul for the high holidays, which, by the way, is a week from this very moment. Rabbis everywhere are sweating it out, getting things done, and yours truly included. I'm going to let our teachers this evening introduce themselves. I'll be putting their more extended bios into the chat if you want to look at it. But without further ado, let's give a most welcome to Gabrielle Pescafdor and our very own Moshnik, Luncinda Kurtz, assisted somehow in her house, probably by Oren Hesterman. Let's hear it for them. All
Well,
yours.
I'm, I'm so delighted to be here with you and to be with Rav Gabrielle because she and I have gone through Bardas Chana in Ann Arbor together, and now she's a rabbi and a cousin, and it's wonderful to be doing this Moshe 4 week preparation for the high holidays with her, examining the middah of enthusiasm. I'm very enthusiastic about presenting this to you. So I'm a Barbara Brennan trained energy healer, and I'm going to be bringing some Kabbalistic energy understanding to this work that we're doing, as well as a sensitivity to the lessons learned through the Sage Mentorship Program. So we look forward to this exploring the middah of Zerizut, particularly during this time of tension and challenge that we're experiencing.
And I'm Gabrielle Pescador. I'm Zooming from Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I serve as the rabbi of the Ann Arbor Reconstructionist congregation. I'm, like Lucinda said, I'm a cantor, and I'm also a harpist. I play the harp in shul. And I consider this instrument to be a tool for healing and heart opening and all of that. And I'm happy to be collaborating with Lucinda once again on an Elul Mussar journey. We chose the middah of enthusiasm for a reason. Like Lucinda said, this is a difficult time. It's a time of grief, a year of devastation, and we need enthusiasm to walk the path of compassionate change. We have to use our holy imagination to dream, to believe that change and healing is possible. And so that's why we want to share our reflections on enthusiasm with you today. And so we're going to begin with the Elul Niggin. So. So we move from the heart-opening wordless nigun, the wordless song, the wordless prayer of enthusiasm, to a song with potent words from our sacred text, from Psalms, to help us cultivate enthusiasm for this holy endeavor. And we can, if you'd share the text of Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, that we serve God with gladness and come into the divine presence with shouts of joy, because words also count. Humming and singing is beautiful, and words add something different. They're not necessarily better, but they add something different. And we, let's face it, we are a wordy religion. We have a lot of text.
Excuse me, Rabbi Mark, could you unspotlight yourself, please? People are having a problem switching. Thank you.
Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha,
Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, bo levana birnana, levana birnana.
Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, Ivdu et
Hashem b'simcha, bo levana birnana, levana birnana.
Ivdu et Hashem
b'simcha, Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, bo levana birnana, levana birnana. Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, bo levana birnana, levana birnana.
So let's get started with a focus on the soul trait of enthusiasm, Zerizut in Hebrew. If you look at the handout, you'll see key points that are covered in today's session and some diagrams that we hope will make the information more accessible. The Hebrew root of Zerizut, Zion, Resh Zion, means catalyst, agility, speed, and similar ideas. So Zerizut carries the sense of awakened energy and its potential to propel us, to create momentum in new directions. So there's also another Hebrew word that relates to this called hitorut, which means inspiration or arousal. And the rabbis talk about that a lot, like, to arouse interest, arousal from below, like arousal from below and arousal from above. That some people are what you call maybe God-sopped, and the arousal comes from above. And other people, might be aroused from dancing, from relationships, and that would be the arousal from below. Arousal from your effort, from your desire to be enthusiastic and your desire to do something and take action. And the language of awakening is used in our sacred text. It's used in our liturgy. Like you can think of Lecha Dodi, for example, on Friday night, where you have hitorari. Maybe you could move the down a little bit in the handout. There's some samples of text there. So hitorari, wake up, your light has come, rise and shine. And then it continues with uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai alayach nigla. Awaken, sing a melody that the glory of God be revealed. So song, like we started off with an Elul Nigun, and that's meant to arouse us, to get us excited, and the words get us excited and say, like, okay, how am I going to serve God with joy? How am I going to do that? How am I going to cultivate joy, especially in a difficult time like this, like where we're experiencing a lot of collective grief, and some of us may have personal problems that are getting in the way as well, and some of us, maybe have access to joy. You know, we're naturally enthusiastic, and so we can cultivate it easily. We're all in different places. But one of the messages of this middah, this soul trait, is that showing up isn't good enough. It doesn't cut it. We have to show up with enthusiasm, which is the key to breaking through the dull energy of routine and the tendency to disconnect and just go through the motions. That's what we're fighting against. We want to be alive in this moment and 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 be here, be in the here and now, be excited about mitzvot, be excited about improving ourselves, be excited about being here in community, doing this together. That's one of the reasons why we do this, why we study in groups, is because it helps to cultivate our enthusiasm. So the medieval Mussar classic, or Chod Tzadikim, calls enthusiasm the ornament of other soul traits, because enthusiasm infuses our actions with focus and energy and makes every action more beautiful. In a sense, to be enthusiastic is like embodying the mitzvah, like hidur mitzvah, to beautify a mitzvah. Like you beautify a mitzvah with a smile. If you're going to, visit somebody, who's sick, or visit somebody who's lonely, your body language is important. The facial gestures are important. All of this is important to show that you care. Showing up. I mean, showing up can be good. Showing up. I'm not saying that showing up isn't good, but you can make showing up more beautiful with enthusiastic gestures. So the Talmud reminds us that also that our good intentions are not good enough as well. So like you need enthusiasm plus action. They need to work together. One without the other is a little bit impoverished. I mean, it's a beginning, but it's not the end desire. So they say that a mitzvah is only judged upon its completion, for example. So we have to unify our good intentions with enthusiasm, with action. And this is the key during Elul, which is the month of action. It's also the month of love. We know that Elul is the acronym of Ani L'Dodi V'Dodi Li, that I am to my beloved as my beloved is to me, that there's a lot of love and connection in those words, and enthusiasm, and being enthusiastic in our expressions of love and in our expressions of connecting is key here. And I'll pass it over to Luncinda now.
If it isn't your habitual nature to be enthusiastic, Chaim Luzzatto recommends that you consciously enthuse yourself. He says enthusiasm might eventually become second nature to you. External movement arouses the internal. And we know about Rebbe Nachman of Braslav, who famously taught, it's a great mitzvah to be happy, and he says always, even though we know it's impossible for everyone or anyone to be happy all the time, or almost all the time. In fact, Rebbe Nachman further observed a century before his time that sadness can lead to illness. And he explained that this was because the body needs 10 different kinds of music to survive. And all are threatened by gloom. Again, understanding the energetic underpinnings of our emotional life. So Rebbe Nachman explains that there's a huge difference between depression, the heavy, sad darkness that hangs like a laden cloud around you, and a broken heart. A broken-hearted yearning to make things better, to come closer to God, to fix one's life, is a healthy response to a difficult world, something many of us are feeling these days. And the way our friend Reb Jack Gabrielle frames it in the song based on Rebbe Nachman's teaching, fake it till you make it, up with joy. So one way to up with joy or enthusiasm is to activate your energy through intention. One of the basic tenets of all energy work is that energy follows intention. When you set your intention, your energy pulls you in that specific direction and increases the possibility of manifestation. What you put your attention on grows bigger and expands. Intention and attention are primary tools in increasing your energy level and pulling you toward the vision of what you want to create.
The Mussar teachers urge us to pay attention to what they see as obstacles to enthusiasm, because that's part of the work too. That, we have to, we might know, oh, we should smile more, we should, have open body language, all of that. But we also know that, that there are a lot of obstacles that prevent us from doing that. It's sometimes hard for us to fake it till we make it, for example. And so they give us some clues. Like, for example, our laziness, which some of us might not want to admit when we're lazy, but we all have that a little bit, that we just don't feel like it, right? We'd rather not. And there are other forms of reluctance that get in the way, such as hesitation. I just swallowed a fly. Isn't that weird? Okay. I don't know why I swallowed a fly. Okay. Anyway, all right. So, hesitation, excessive deliberation that prevents us from acting. You think too much, overthinking things, rationalizations, coming up with excuses not to act, such as, oh, I'd call my sick elder aunt if I had more time, I'd get tzedakah if I had more money, whatever. That, you can give a little. You don't have to give a lot, you just give a little. And then there's a propensity to dull ourselves with pursuing comfort, like something that I do, like binge watching Netflix. I don't know if any of you do such a thing. Or spending too much time on social media or the news cycle. Do any of you do that? That takes us away from things. I mean, it's not that we need to be informed, but I think, like in my case, I sometimes overdo it. I admit it, I overdo it. And so it's good to just pay attention to those things. Like to look at how much time you spend on social media, or how much time, you're reading the news, or if you're binge watching, like you think, oh, I watched 3 episodes, and then you think, like, how many hours was that? And what else could I have done during that time? And also, face it, sometimes we need to pursue comfort because we need to relax, and we've been working hard and we need it. I'm not saying that you should never do these things, but I think that we should pay attention and see if it takes away from other things that are important. And so the Mussar teachers also teach us remedies for dealing with these obstacles, such as a gratitude practice. I know that we hear this in so many forms, like every prayer service begins with that we always have gratitude prayers, and it's very, very important. And it's also important to be grateful, especially when we're feeling low or feeling overwhelmed, to be grateful of really small stuff, like this cup of coffee is amazing, or the weather's nice today, I can go for a walk and I don't need a coat, or my cat is so cute, or like today, for example, I saw 2 deer, and it turns me into a squealing little girl when I'm close to deer. Like, and just those little things. And then you go back to, your problems or whatever, but to work on delighting in the ordinary whenever you can is important. And then, of course, your children, your family, that you have a comfortable place to live, all of those things, or that you're in a community like this delightful community, and the opportunity to be with people, from all over the country. That's another thing to be grateful for. I'm grateful, for example, to be invited to share teaching with you in this space, in this very welcoming space. Also, singing, like we were saying, singing is very important. And, Rabbi Nachman talks about songs that help us to get out of depression. And singing is really beautiful. I'll tell you a story. I was in a cantorial concert in June, and I was going through something that was not pleasant for me. And I'd go to the rehearsals, and I'd be in the car, and and I'd be thinking about these, my situation and what was wrong. And then I get to the rehearsal, and it was called the rehearsal was called Off the Beam. And we basically did Broadway and shtick. We didn't do any religious music at all. And so I would come out of, I'd leave my car not in a great mood, and then go into the rehearsal space and sing friendship, friendship, what a beautiful blendship. And then I'd do shtick and turn around and dance and laugh with my friends. And I was put into a different state of mind just because I was singing. It actually changed my mood. And they also say that humming in particular is very good for your health because it releases certain kinds of chemicals in your system when you hum. Like there's more nitrogen-based chemicals that affect your mood or something. I'm not a scientist. I might have it wrong, but I was told this by a scientist, so I believe her. Okay, and I like to hum. And humming changes my mood. Also, acting without hesitation is very important. And this is something that I remember learning from a Chabad rabbi, like that if you have an opportunity to do a mitzvah, if you have to do tzedakah, do it right now. Don't wait. Like if you don't wait. Don't wait to call somebody who's ill. Don't wait to call somebody you haven't been with in a long time. Don't wait to volunteer for something if you can. Just do it. Just do it. And then the other thing too is to involve the body so that it's an integrated experience, because that is also important. Like we talked about smiling, but also using your body, like open body language, not crossing your arms or whatever kind of tense movements that you have. Notice that when you're notice what your body's like when you're doing something that you might feel a little bit reluctant about, and see if you can shift. If you can shift the energy a little bit, be a little bit more open. I have to say that one of the things that I really liked and appreciated about Barack Obama, I'm not talking about politics or policies or anything like that. This is just like a pure observation of his body language that I really appreciated, is that he always had a pep in his step. And that made me feel positive about whatever it was that was going on, more positive, even if it was bad news. Like I felt like there was energy that was completely integrated in him doing whatever he was doing, and that meant something to me. It affected me instead of talking in a sluggish manner. And of course, meditation is very important too, because I think that to listen to the inner voice, this is part of the whole process of reflection and a self-reflection during the month of Elul, and when we're doing Teshuvah, is to take time to listen to that inner voice. It's very important because that tells us the truth. And so I'm going to pass over the baton to Luncinda, who is going to take us through a meditation, which I believe is also on the handout. There's a diagram to help you along.
I just put the handout in the chat, so if you want to have access to that.
Because I'm going to do one of the things that Gabrielle suggested doing to really embody the experience, to use our body in this next meditation. And for this interactive, energetic exercise, we're going to superimpose the template of the tree of life on our own body. So we are the tree of life. We are our own unique tree of life. And we are going to do this next exercise as our own unique tree of life. So I'm going to ask everybody either to stand or to sit at the edge of your chair so you're really awake and alive and your body is really comfortable and present. And in either case, I'm going to invite you to place your feet firmly on the earth, because you are a tree and you are going to grow roots out of the bottom of your feet. You're going to imagine the roots coming out of the bottom of your feet. Okay, feel them sinking down into the fertile, fecund earth beneath you. And now, with your breath and with your energy, pull the energy and breath up from the roots and through the dirt, through the earth to the bottom of your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, up the central channel of this trunk of your beautiful tree, all the way to the crown chakra. And now, with your breath and your intention, just release anything that's standing in the way from you being completely present here now in your body with us in this room. Feeling the energy move down your trunk, down the hips, thighs, knees, ankles, and into the earth again. And we're going to do that one more time. We're going to pull that energy up from the center of the earth through your roots, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, up the central trunk of your beautiful tree, all the way to the crown chakra. Now raise your limbs, raise your branches, and feel the energy above you. Feel it touching the tops of your fingertips, coming down your wrists, your elbows, down to your shoulders, feeling your breath and the energy flowing down your body, your beautiful trunk of your tree of life, down to the hips, the thighs, the knees, the calves, and down into the earth again. Now just take that breath up. Just feel the breathing coming up through the tree and back down again. Now put your middle fingers below your belly button, an inch below the belly button, into the place of Yesod, the place in your foundation of the tree of life. Feel that vital, strong energy in your body. Just breathe into that place. Breathing in, breathing out. And now drop a plumb line down to the center of the earth between your feet. So you become a three-legged stool. You become earth-bound and settled and grounded. You're grounded into the earth, feeling stable, feeling settled. Breathing in, breathing out. Keeping your left hand in your Yesod place. The right hand traces a light line up the center of your body, coming between Tiferet and Da'at, right here in the center of your chest. That's the place of your soul seat, the seat of your soul's longing. Just imagine that you are going to hear what your soul's longing is. Just ask. Ask to hear what your soul's longing is. Now place your right hand facing up toward your chin, your left hand facing down toward the earth. And you are going to continue that right hand going up through the chin, the nose, your forehead, and now up above. So you are connecting the earth, your physical body, your soul's longing, and your connection to spirit. You are now connected to your highest self. With this connection, I invite you to state out loud the words, I intend, and what it is that you intend in this moment, so that your voice print draws toward you the universal energy field that will resonate with your voice and draw to you what your intention is. So we will each have the opportunity of starting with the words I intend and saying out loud so no one else can hear it, but you can hear it, what your intention is. I intend. I do this energetic exercise every morning as a way of starting my day and pulling toward me what my intention is. I gift this energetic exercise to you as a way of creating more energy and enthusiasm in your life.
Thank you for that opportunity to create an energetic shift. There's another way in to reflecting on the midot and on the middah of the week, on this on enthusiasm from a four worlds perspective. That's another way in. And so on your handout, you'll see a chart with the four worlds listed. You have Atzilut, Beriah, Yetzirah, and Asiya. And so you have, you know, from the creation of worlds, that's one way of looking at the four worlds. That you have the world of emanation, this undifferentiated light of Ein Sof, and then there's a diminution of light, and then you have the world of creation, which is more conceptual without form, and then Yetzirah is the world of formation, and then you have the world of action, and you have particularized form. That's one way of looking at it, but there's also a psycho-spiritual way of looking at the four worlds, which is something that is, you know, you probably know about. It's something that we think about in Aleph circles quite frequently. So in Atzilut, that would be the spiritual realm, and so the highest realm, you know, you think about God, you might think about forces bigger than yourself, you might think about the big love, the big light, whatever it is that you consider to be a spiritual sort of type of experience. And then Beriah is what they call the mental realm, but I'm not talking about you know, it's like higher mental realm. It's about putting things together. It's about understanding and weaving understandings together. It's about figuring out some sort of way of gleaning wisdom of some sort from things in an intellectual way, but an intellectual way that is connected to the heart. It's not like about problem solving and doing math equations and stuff like that. It's working with inspiration and working with ideas to get to a place of understanding. And Yetzirah is more of the emotional realm, you know, about relationships, about your feelings about things, about figuring out, you know, your boundaries, you know, and you know, because when our boundaries are overstepped, you know, sometimes that makes us feel angry or afraid, and so the emotions give us information, and then you can think about it more. You sort of like work with Beriah and your emotions. Yetzirah and Beriah work together so that you understand what's going on. You have to feel, you have to sense, you have to perceive, and then Beriah helps you to understand. And then there's Asiya, which is the physical realm. And so, you know, one of my my challenges in teaching, for example, about Sfirot, about the attributes of the tree of life, or about the four worlds, is that sometimes we think of all these different categories in isolation, but they really, really work together. And I think that we have to imagine how they work together. And so, when you think about enthusiasm in this way, I would invite you to think about it in an integrated way. So, for example, you might be very enthusiastic about your spiritual practice, right? And some of you might be very enthusiastic about it when you're singing, or when you're dancing, or when you're moving. And some people may be more enthusiastic about the meditative components, or sometimes all of those fit together. But I'd like you to think about enthusiasm in that way. Like, some of us are very enthusiastic about thinking about ideas, about studying Talmud, about studying Torah, and that's sort of like our entry point for feeling something spiritual, or for accessing our emotions, or for figuring out how we should act in the physical world, but that our entry point is intellectual, and we're enthusiastic about that. Or maybe we're not. Maybe we don't like to study, but we like to meditate, and we like to dance, and we like to sing. And I'm not saying that one is bad or one is good. It's important to know yourself in this way, and to understand enthusiasm from the lens of trying to know yourself and to observe yourself. And then, of course, there's the emotional realm. Some of us are like the most enthusiastic when we're interacting with people, when we're together, or with our intimate friends, our inner circle. And some of us might be more extroverted and enthusiastic in that way, but the social relationship, the interpersonal relationship, may be the point of enthusiasm. Or sometimes we have issues about that. It's hard for us, and it's important to note, to observe, and to listen to the truth of who you are at this particular time, because today you might be different than you will be tomorrow, or that you were last year, or the week before. And then, of course, there's the physical realm. Some of us are enthusiastic about running and doing sports, and working with our hands. Like if I think about the harp, for example, to me, like this harp, I like to think of it as a four worlds experience for me, because I play the harp in services. To me, it's like it has a biblical resonance, and it has a spiritual sound to me. And I think of King David and the stories about King David healing, the troubled soul of Saul, and all the midrashim about the harp, and the references to the harp in Psalms. And that's sort of like a mental spiritual sort of component. And then, of course, there's the physical playing, and feeling the vibration on my chest, and how it makes me feel. So for me, this is a four worlds experience. And so that if I need to feel more integrated, I sit down and I play the harp, and it helps me because of that. And I do it consciously too. Like it's not just that it happens to me. I think about it. I reflect on it when I play, and it can center me for that reason. And there might be something else in your life that can help you integrate all of those things. And so, so with this in mind, we're inviting you to reflect on your experience of the middah of enthusiasm from a four worlds perspective. And Luncinda is going to take you on a meditative journey to help you access that inner wisdom within yourself, and to help you observe yourself. And afterwards, we're going to go into breakthrough rooms. And so if you want to participate in a breakthrough room, please keep your video on.
Okay, my friends. Well, again, we're getting into the experience, not just in the head, but the physical body, the emotional body experience of harvesting gems from our life experience. And this is the kind of exploration we do in our saging work, looking at our life experience to see the larger patterns of behavior, where and how habits or ways of thinking started and manifested over a lifetime. So I'm going to take you on a little meditation to explore your own personal relationship with enthusiasm. So I'll ask you to place your feet on the ground and ground yourself again. And just lower your eyes or close your eyes with your back straight and take a nice breath in and exhale any tension you might feel in your body to really enter into this experience. Take another breath in and just relax and be present with yourself. So, in this place of greater relaxation, take yourself back in your memory to a time when you were a child and full of enthusiasm for something in your life. Maybe a trip to the seashore, or your first ride on a two-wheel bicycle, or a visit to a favorite friend, or the first day of school or camp, or whatever that comes into your mind's eye right now. Remember what excited you. Just gather something so there's one instance that comes to you, and you can now feel, feel that enthusiasm, feel that excitement. How do you feel? How does your body feel when you are in a place of excitement? Feel the delight and joy that experience can bring. Allow this energy to reach deeply into the core of your being. Breathe it in. Relish this feeling. Savor it. Where in your body are you feeling this? Where does it feel excited? And how does your body manifest this? Now take a moment to go inside and find a memory of a message you received about expressing too much or not enough energy and enthusiasm in your life. Where were you? Who gave you that message of judgment? How does your body now feel remembering that incident of judgment? Where in your body does this message of disapproval reside? How did you react to such messages? What emotions did you feel? Did this or these type of messages or your reaction to them shape your behavior or self-image in any way? How? Allow your older and wiser self in this very moment to embrace that younger self that felt judged and comfort him or her, giving a new message that you are perfectly fine exactly the way you are. Feel your love and compassion circling your younger self and calming and soothing her or him. allow your younger self to feel that love and attention and acceptance. Feeling accepted for exactly who you are. Are you content with your own level of energy now, in this present moment? Is there any change you would make to yourself to be more in alignment with your energetic self sense of yourself at this stage of your maturation? Do you find that your energy is being dissipated because you are taking on too much or too many commitments? If that's the case, what needs to drop away in your life? People, activities, events, commitments? And what would you like to embrace more of to feel more energy and enthusiasm? On the other hand, do you have a sense of malaise and feel that you would like to take on more in your life? This month of Elul invites us to examine ourselves in these ways and to commit ourselves to transforming those things in our lives that are no longer serving us well.
So we're going to invite you to go into breakout rooms first, and in a moment or two, and so there might be some things that came up in that meditation that you'd like to share um, about, wishes for more enthusiasm, obstacles to enthusiasm, over enthusiasm, and how you feel about that, or reactions, any of those things. And also, you can think about I would say, we can divide it into some simple directions, like what is getting in your way of acting with enthusiasm and energy, um, and reflect on in what circumstances you act with enthusiasm, and is it balanced? Is it too wild? Is it too soft? And can you imagine developing a kind of personal practice that would help you to cultivate it, more enthusiasm in your life where you need it?
They return again, return from the breakthrough rooms. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of our shul. Lucinda, Gabrielle, all yours.
Okay. So I hope that your sharing was fruitful, and we're going to wind down with some chanting. During the month of Elul, there's a traditional practice of reciting the 13 attributes of compassion, which are on your handout near the end, and we'd like to call your attention to a particular set of words, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, which I believe is highlighted in red, and it refers to the sustaining loving kindness for 1,000 generations. And we point this out because working towards sustaining loving energy is another path to enthusiasm that keeps our capacity to love in a fresh way, that just to keep doing it, that's an act of enthusiasm. And it stokes the fires of enthusiasm. Just keep on going. Netzach, endurance. And so we'll chant together. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun, Erech Apayim Notzer chesed lalafim, Nose avon v'fesha v'chata v'nakei. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'chanun, Erech apayim, v'rav chesed v'emet, Notzer chesed la'alafim, Nose avon v'fesha v'chata v'nakei. And we continue with the psalm for Elul, Psalm 27, which I believe is your custom in your Mussar Elul practice. So I'm just going to do a little flippity doodah here, and there. Achad shalti me'et Adonai otav akesh. Achad shalti me'et Adonai otav akesh. Shivti b'vet Adonai kol yemei chayai, lachazot b'noam b'noam Adonai ul'baker b'echalon. Lachazot b'noam b'noam Adonai ul'baker b'echalon.
And so, my friends, may the creator and sustainer of all life support you as you follow your life's path with enthusiasm this week. May you find satisfaction in developing an Elul practice that propels you forward with energy. And we will end with what more could arouse our energy and enthusiasm and awaken us than the blowing of the shofar. And Oren is the shofar blower for our community. And this powerful blast of the shofar aids in our enthusiastic embracing of our mission during Elul. Its sharp staccato blast elevates our energy through the vibrant vibratory frequency and creates greater enthusiasm for the awesome task in front of us. And this is the mitzvah of Rosh Hashanah. Tekiah. Shevarim. Tekiah. Tekiah. Shevarim Truah. Tekiah. Tekiah Gadolah.
Shkach.